It's a podcast that'll make you question everything in life. Maybe some of it. From a kid that really is questionable. It's Tumalip the podcast. Hello, YouTube world. It's Alexander Tumalip and Tumalip the podcast, episode number 4. The 4th episode. What an anniversary. Just so much people to thank. Oh, wait, there's nobody here. I don't even have a guest this week. So, basically, what just happened was I came back from Aloha's show, and, well, if you watch our Troubadour Media YouTube page, you'll know what I'm talking about, because, we do our May Day in September. We don't do our May Day in May, as most people do, because of Aloha Week festivals. It starts with the Ho'olaulea, and, well, you know, many amazing things after that. And you'll get to see me sweat my brains out in a parade next Saturday at the Aloha Week Parade. So, come watch that. You're sure to have a good time. But first, as we start the podcast, it's time for the segment that's sweeping the state. It's called...
It's time for today's opening rant.
The opening rant. Thank you very much, big voice, big emasculated voice. So the rant this week is about who else but Donald Trump. Now, Trump, I know you're trying to do your job. You're so adamant in your denigration of Obama. But here's the thing. Do we really want a billionaire that makes a lot of money and basically downgrades every single person he's ever met to a worse person in his campaign slogan to quote-unquote make America great again? I mean, anyone? I really don't see how that's possible. You know, I really don't. Because first of all, here's the thing. He owns almost every single piece of land in America. He's almost become the Arnold Schwarzenegger of the universe. But if he has the nerve to walk up in front of people and actually say that we can make America great again, and then to say he will deport millions of illegal immigrants, and then, like, not give word that Obama's actually a Muslim. He actually condoned that behavior yesterday. And if you listen to this clip from the Associated Press, you'll know what I mean. Take a listen to this.
We have a problem in this country. It's called Muslims. We know our current president is one. Right. You know he's not even an American.
We need this
birth
question.
certificates, man. But anyway, we have training camps growing where they want to kill us. Mm-hmm. That's my question. When can we get rid of
We're going to be looking at a lot of different things. And, you know, a lot of people are saying that, and a lot of people are saying that bad things are happening out there. We're going to be looking at that and plenty of other things.
Do we really want that, people? I mean, like, really? You don't want that kind of a president, believe me. I've been there. You know, Bush was great. You know, Clinton kind of edgy. Obama's been good, okay? Just give him credit. I mean, he's doing his job. He's working hard. He doesn't deserve this kind of treatment. I mean, like, nobody deserves it. So here's a message for Trump. When you walk up to Obama, shake his hand, and then tell him every single dang thing you said. I want you to do. Done. And then walk out and never be on C-SPAN or anybody's television screen in America ever again. Sincerely, all of the United States. Finished. The eye in the sky don't lie. That's the rant for today. Man, it's been a very busy month of sports here at my house. We've watched the NFL season kickoff. We've seen the college season kickoff, and we're about to see college basketball tip off in a few months. And also, we're about to see the NHL face off in 2 weeks. Would you believe it? The preseason starts on Monday. Yes, the frickin' NHL preseason starts on Monday. So, with that though, there has been some like very questionable things going on in the NHL lately. We've already seen Slava Voinov basically being deported because of domestic violence issues. And I laughed so hard because I heard this on the J&M podcast yesterday. It was Jay Onright, I believe, who said, You come to me in Russia I will pick you all up later. You report to me." That's base Slava's going to transition to. He's going to transition from having a kid in a school that really kind of, I don't want to say didn't fit in, but he was a great guy. He's a really nice guy. I'm not saying anything to denigrate him. He's a great guy. But and then we see Patrick Kane's going to attend training camp for the Blackhawks. Like if he's going to like seriously be like the guys of old, the greats of old, John Hall, Gordie Howe, Mark Messier, Wayne Gretzky, John Davidson, these guys have to step up. They have to become the players that we think they are. Not some criminal that, will lose their things behind and then all of a sudden they get, deported the next day. That's where the NHL needs to go. We need to start cracking down on those kinds of players, such as the domestic violence issues, such as the assault cases. We need to start cracking down as a league, start cracking down on them. Because we've seen an influx in the past few months where, basically, you could get in trouble in one night. Celebrating the Stanley Cup, you could get in trouble in one night. But of course, it could happen one of these days. You never know. But it's exciting to see that football is back and hockey's going to be back in 2 weeks. But the CFL is entering its home stretch, the Canadian Football League. I'll be going up to a Calgary Stampeders and Eskimos game on October the 10th, a Saturday night football game for all those of you at home. I'm, of course, a big BC Lions fan, for those of you who don't know. I follow the Lions on Twitter, and I've seen some interesting things about this year's BC Lions team because they are not as good as I thought they'd be. Actually, they're kind of crappy. They're garbage. It's like a big toilet bowl. But seriously, Jeff Tedford's done a great job turning that thing around. Mike Benavides, really, I really don't think was the guy. I really don't think he was the player that, that should have, not the player, but the coach. I don't know if he's the right fit for that program. I don't know if Benavides was the right fit for that program. Because, first of all, you're going to go up against some good talent, like Bo Levi Mitchell, John Cornish, Jerome Messam, Ricky Ray, Henry Burris. I mean, you really are in the league in Canada that pits the best against the best, whether you realize it or not. And that simply is the case. I mean, well, should we just say that Canada's better at sports than the United States? My roots are I'm born in the U.S., but I have roots to Canada. My great-great-great-grandfather was born in Prince Edward Island. That's kind of the interesting thing, I think, that comes with being from Canada, or the part of me is being from Canada, because you get to see all these great games and all these great players play in a game you never thought possible. So I think that's a really good thing that the NHL and the CFL are starting to pick up here in the U.S. as we see that, the game's starting to grow. It's starting to grow a little bit. Not so much here in Canada, but not so much here in the United States, but as in Canada, it's really starting to grow into something big. Let's get into, we've gone all over the place again. Where have we gone from? We've gone from the opening rant with Trump. Then we've gone from, I don't know where we've gone. We've gone from Trump and the opening rant. Then we've had the NHL, the CFL. And now we can finally get into college football. The pigskin's flying around again, folks. And it's really interesting because, first of all, this year of college football, ESPN has debuted some sick graphics. And by sick, I mean disgusting. Are you serious about bringing up this hexagonal, floppy-shaped thing and then pasting it in front of two guys, one that didn't even play football for the longest time, and one just an old guy that sits behind and always makes fun of the other team? I mean, come on, ESPN. You're owned by Disney. You could come up with some sicker graphics than that. And besides, I can't even tell who's the home and away team. I mean, is Minnesota... I've been looking at it. Is TCU the home team? Is Minnesota the home team? Where is the simplicity in that? Where is the simplicity? You have this, like, big box on the right of on the bottom corner of the screen. And then you have this box on the top, which represents I don't know if it's the home team or the away team. And then you have this little tiny box thing down at the bottom, which represents the road team. And then you have the time remaining, and then you have the hashtag to get into the conversation. What is wrong with you, ESPN? What is wrong with you? I thought I was going to be there for like the longest time. I wanted to be at ESPN. But I'll tell you what, this podcast would not fly at ESPN at all. Not one bit. Nah, John Skipper would just fire me within the first week of the podcast coming on. Now you see why I like Fox Sports Live better. Sorry, ESPN. I've left the bandwagon. Probably just offended John Skipper, and I apologize for that. I also offended a lot of employees at ESPN, and I definitely apologize for that as well. So, as we've continued to rant about this week, it seems to be that sports is coming into being a great topic this week. As we said before, college football kicked off. The CFL is entering its home stretch as the road to the Grey Cup begins. And we'll get into our Grey Cup picks a little bit later. But let's talk about the college football. And most importantly, Ohio State. They have, I think, Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer is definitely a class guy, okay? He's a great guy. But this is the thing. Hawaii was playing number 1 Ohio State over the weekend, and they were down already 17-0, okay? The game was decided. He decides to go out there and decides, oh, I'm going to cover the spread. He scores not 1, not 2, but 3 majors in the next 15 minutes with the second strings in a blowout, in a game that was decided. What is wrong with you, Urban? I mean, do you not have enough satisfaction in the fact that you've already kicked a team's butt so bad that you need to do it again? I don't really see the fun in that. I really don't. I mean, if anything, it's just showing that, oh, we're just the most arrogant team in football, and, oh, we're going to go out there and just make every play like we can. Wake up! It's a game! You guys are still number 1. What are you trying to do? Tell the polls that, oh, we're still here. Oh, we're going to be number 1 every season now for the next 25,000 years. Wake the hell up, Urban. It's just a freaking game. Go out there, play the game, play with class, kick their butts, get off the field. We don't have any room for people that run up the score in this game, Urban. Anyway, so Hawaii lost to Ohio State over the weekend. Shameless plug. You can root for them Saturday, 6 p.m. versus Ohio State. Versus UC Davis, UC Davis. UC Davis game is at 6 o'clock on Saturday. But we can't forget, St. Francis takes on Damien and the Holy War tomorrow at 6 p.m. If you want to join the conversation on Twitter, just hashtag beat Damien for all of our Damien games this year. That's hashtag beat Damien. Just think how you'd spelled. And that is the hashtag officially for the Holy War games that we play every year in intramural sports against Damien. It's a little frustrating, but I'll tell you what, it's really something. So, after that, happens, after the St. Francis and Damien things happen, and the UC Davis games happen, the NFL comes into play on Sunday with some really good games, really interesting. Excuse me. Very interesting games on Sunday. But let's get into something that seemingly just won't end. It's called Deflategate. I know, it may not sound kosher. I'm bringing this up again after, only a month after, it's happened. But we need to talk about this again. Because, first of all, what if I had told you 5 months ago that Tom Brady will be still playing today? He played in the Thursday night opener. He's going to play on Sunday. But first of all, the first thing I want to get to is Robert Kraft vehemently defended Tom Brady in his outings. I mean, vehemently. He wanted Tom to play. He thought he was innocent. And then this erroneous Ted Wells report comes out, and it ends up, clearing his name because Brady felt that he didn't do anything wrong. And I completely understand with that. I mean, you got to have some guts to, say that he's actually not done anything wrong. But those reports bring zero to the table. And I mean zero. They don't do anything for Roger Goodell. They don't do anything for the league as far as, historical terms are concerned, because all it is just another piece of white noise to me. It's just another piece of white noise. And I know some people are going to jump on Twitter and they're probably going to tell me that, I'm wrong and they're right and stuff like that. But it's true, It's true. What we have today is an epidemic of players that don't know how to control themselves, and they end up screwing up everything in their path. I mean, who do that? Because the Patriots, if you know, have had a history of doing this. They've had a history of deflating footballs, Spygate, and now it's come to light that Mike Tomlin is accusing, would you believe it, the Patriots of intentionally tapping the radio broadcast into their headsets. I mean, what does this become? Spygate 2? Because if it is, then where's the evidence? Where's the reports? You need to make sure you have the numbers and you have the reports. Because if you don't have that, what are people going to believe? What? Oh, they just tapped into the broadcast by accident and nothing happened? Yeah, right, something happened. And it's called the Patriots. And it's something called they cheat a lot. That's all I have to say about it. I'm not going to say anything more. Because as of today, Deflategate is officially closed with and over. Let's get a look at what's coming up on the podcast later on this month. Later on this month, actually, it's going to be Feast Day. You can watch the highlight video on our YouTube page at Troubadour Media. This particular podcast is going to be the first one I make in a while, because the next one is going to be with Jay Onright on. Yes, Rightsy's coming on. We're going to try and negotiate something, but if everything falls through and all falls through the grate, then of course you know who to blame, me, because of my OCD and my unorganizedness. Did I just say OCD? Oh, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to offend anyone that has that. I did not mean to say that to anyone. I'm totally sorry. I do not mean to condone any of this. Okay? Thank you. I'm sorry. So, let's jump back into things, because we've already established that Rightsy might be on the podcast, might being the operative word, and because of that, we will have a podcast this month, then next month, then hopefully we'll have someone on in November. Maybe Brent Butt may join us. You never know who might come on the podcast. So enjoy your football weekends, everyone, and enjoy your long weekends and a happy Labor Day, and whoever you're cheering for in the CFL, be it the Bombers, the Lions, the Red Blacks, the Stamps, Eskimos. Good luck to those teams because it's going to be very tough. Next month, we're going to be talking about a few things with Jay Onright. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And we're going to talk about his new book, his new baby girl, Isabel, how he got into broadcasting at Ryerson. It's going to be a very, very interesting pod. You very much want to tune into that one because it's going to be a great show. It's going to be a great time. Want to thank all of my imaginary crew and pat myself on the back because I'm the one that actually made up all this stuff this week, wouldn't you know? Thank you to Mr. Ragus for providing me with the clear audio microphone, the Logitech radio. I actually can hear myself now, and it's a nice tender little radio that I can listen to and grade myself on because I'm a very judgmental person, and I'm very sorry about that. Have a great weekend, everyone, and have a great September. Hopefully, Jay Onright will be on next month, and you'll get to laugh along with us a bit. It was a very short podcast, but I try to keep it short so I can condense all my rants down into one podcast, and this is just the start. It's 4 episodes in. It's 5 months, and can you believe it? It's 5 months. It's 2 months into school already. When this podcast is over and done with, so we'll see you next month, everyone. It was a great time. This is Tumalip, signing off from the podcast. Aloha.